This episode is dedicated to the memory of Darren Drozdov. Hey everyone, welcome back. The Four Horsemen have reunited, which can mean one thing, another wrestling review. This time, we are heading to London, England, where WWE had their annual Money in the Bank pay-per-view. With me once again today, we have the Putty Man, we have Caps below me, and below the Putty Man, we have Campo.Reviews. Gentlemen, welcome. It's good to have everyone back once again. It's been, I think the last time we were all together for this was what, Mania?
I think so, yeah.
I think.
Can I cash in my money bank?
Sure,
Sure.
you
Can
can
we
cash-
change Putty's name to Mongo McMichael?
Absolutely, we can.
Stop changing. Why don't we do not change his name to
No,
the
to like
Campo
Ric Flair
Crunch
or
over
something.
here?
One of the good ones, like Arn Anderson.
Y'all gonna get me started over here, up in here.
Actually,
He
you
is
know
really
what?
renaming me.
You change his name to Chris Benoit. Makes sense.
No, let's not go that far. Mongo McMichael. He needs a little chihuahua.
We all know that the most famous McMichael is Deborah. So
Deborah, yes, that's what we should change Putty's name to. But enough of the WCW talk. We are here to talk Money in the Bank. The first time they held it in the UK. First time since 20 years that they've held a pay-per-view outside of the US, outside of North America, I should say, because they held the thing in Montreal a few months back. Elimination Chamber.
huh?
Hmm.
Pay-per-view.
PLE, whatever you want to call it.
Wait.
Premium.
What about all the Saudi Arabia ones? Those are all PLEs too.
Oh yeah, that's true. Then why
And
did
so-
they
so
say that
was-
this?
This
No,
is the
but
first one in London in 20 years.
Okay, first one in London. Then we both
I was like
messed up.
confused for a second because I'm like, wait, what about Clash
Yeah.
at the Castle? That was a pay-per-view.
That was a
That was in
pay-per-view. That's
England.
right. Yes, it was. That was a year ago. Anyway, enough of that. We'll get right into
I
this.
don't know geography.
That's geography, but I digress. So I like the commentating team. This time it was no Corey Graves. It was Wade Barrett and Michael Cole.
I don't like the pandering that you just pulled out Wade Barrett just because it's in England.
No, but Wade Barrett does the SmackDown shows.
Yeah, but who watches SmackDown?
Yeah,
Nobody,
I agree.
But still, it's Wade Barrett, and he's better
It's
than Corey.
the flagship show for them now. Like that's so
Hey, they could
embarrassing.
have pandered and pulled out what's his name, Patrick, whatever his name is,
No, we don't want to talk about that.
Kevin Patrick there. So our first match of the night, they open it off with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. This one had 7 participants. It was Damian Priest, Butch, LA Knight, Ricochet, Santos Escobar, Shinsuke Nakamura, and just because he felt like being there, Logan Paul.
This didn't shock me, but we'll get to that point when for some reason I actually felt like I knew who was going to win this match when I started watching it.
Oh yeah, so there were 2 people that Campo and I mentioned in our state last week too that were the only 2 logical choices. But this wasn't a bad match. This was better than last year's Money in the Bank, at least in terms of the men's match. It was a bunch of fresh competitors that have never won a WWE championship. So at least you knew, like, if they cash in and win, it's a new champion that we've never seen before.
But realistically, so Shinsuke, okay, arguable. You could make the argument deserving, very deserving of being a champion. None of the other ones to me deserve to be a world champion. So unless they're going to cash in on the Intercontinental or the US championship
Or the NXT.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like, we know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And like, I don't mind the storyline that they're trying to tell, but it's like, is he deserving of being a champion? Like, what has he really done that's proven to us that he's a really good wrestler?
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, so are we implementing the winner at the moment? I mean,
you could say who won it. It was Damian Priest ended up winning.
Okay,
The crowd was super behind LA Knight to win it, though.
I agree. Now the reason I feel like they're basically trying to do the bloodline now with with them now, like they're trying to just put all belts over there. And that's why I was really honestly thinking that he was going to win, because I feel like they're trying to put that whole status of like, they want to slowly start bringing some belts over there, so that way they like everyone's got a belt, maybe even leaving Dominic Mysterio as the only one without a belt. And I could see that happening with all 3 of them, and then Dominic over here being like the non-champion.
No, I'll tell you what's going to happen, because I already said it. You said it too.
Yeah.
Finn Balor's going to beat Seth Rollins at SummerSlam.
Yep.
And then they're going to have turmoil in the in the group, and at like WrestleMania or something or Survivor
cash
Series,
it.
he's gonna challenge
Damien's
Damien's gonna challenge Finn Balor.
We're gonna have like an evolution type of storyline on our hands with Batista and Triple H.
Yeah.
Where maybe Damian Priest cashes in on Seth instead, and then they start a feud
Takes
with
it like yeah.
Either
then-
way, it's gonna be something like that.
yeah, because what's it called? Because they did the same thing, same idea, and then because they're talking about bringing McDonough into Judgment Day, so I think Priest may be on the way out and McDonough in.
Possible. Well, apparently, if you listen to the ring announcers, Bailey is part of Judgment Day.
I was gonna say that, yes.
Oh yeah, I was worrying about that when she came out. I'm like, wait, she's not part of Judgment Day. Did I learn that? Like, I
Nope,
literally
nope.
thought that I missed something this whole time, and I'm like, and then they brought what's her name out right behind her, and then they said the damage control.
The damage control, yeah. But
And I
that's
was
a
like-
story for a little bit later. There was that crazy moonsault by Butch off the top of the ladder onto the ground. There was a few good spots. Like I
There
said,
was
the
a
crowd,
few really innovative spots that we haven't seen before.
yeah, the Spanish fly that Ricochet did off the second rope with Logan Paul onto the tables.
That was dangerous / messy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do want to say this: the whole Logan Paul thing, they hate him to death, but I will give him props. He's going out there and taking some hits, though. You know what I mean?
He is.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
I'd rather
People
watch
hate
Logan
him,
Paul
but-
than Dominic Mysterio.
It's so weird to say that, but I agree. Like, he has way more skills than Dominic will ever have in the ring. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
That Spanish fly.
Yes.
I want to know what the outcome of that's going to be in terms of how Logan Paul's going to feel about that. Because to me, they were both on uneven footing. It looked
Yeah.
like they shouldn't have done the move, and Ricochet didn't like say, "I'm going to do it." Like, there was no talking. He just did it.
Yeah.
So I want to know, is Logan Paul going to be upset later if he's like, "I didn't consent. I was like, maybe we shouldn't have done that." Like, we were
welcome-
both falling off the ropes.
Welcome to pro wrestling, kid, where
Yeah,
sometimes
but in
things
pro
are called on the
wrestling
fly.
nowadays, it's not like there's not a lot of that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, no one, if someone felt like something was truly unsafe, they wouldn't do it. But Ricochet just literally did it.
I think there might be some repercussions for Ricochet on this one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? Even if it's not Logan Paul, I think someone backstage is going to be mad that he did that.
Yeah, I think you might not see Ricochet on TV for a few weeks now. But what do you guys think of Priest winning? Like, it's telling the story.
well, I'll agree with the fans. I actually did want LA Knight because he has that, like, again, the whole comparison of his voice to Rock. I really like that whole idea.
Yeah.
But I also like his persona. Like, even though he does have the Rock's voice, he has his own look to him. It reminds me of the whole. It's a very much
Yeah.
an '80s. You know what I mean? Like
The
that
whole point of him is he's supposed to be a knock on The Rock and Stone Cold. He's like
Yeah.
a combination
Okay.
of both
Because
he does
characters.
that,
yeah.
He knows that he's doing that too.
Yeah.
Well, no, and that's fine. But I mean, I enjoy it and everything. And I never really was like the whole idea of LA Knight at first. I wasn't into, but then I'm really like when he comes out and starts talking to people, it's really actually kind of entertaining. Like all the
It
He's
is,
fine. I'm not big on him.
Ever since he left the Maximum Male Models.
I don't.
Well, I didn't know
I
if that
think
was-
he's a serviceable wrestler, but I don't think his in-ring capabilities match his talking ability.
I
Yeah,
agree.
he's not
I
world
agree.
champion material.
No,
I could see Damian Priest holding the belt.
I
over.
could see him going into a feud with a world champ for a long time, and him being the heel, but never actually winning.
winning. Yeah. So any other comments on this match besides your thoughts
It
on
was
the winner?
better than last year's.
It was. The whole show was better than last year's, I think.
Yeah,
agree.
overall, this was a pretty good match. Like I said, there was a lot of new, fresh stuff that we hadn't
Yeah.
seen before.
And
There was
like
a
I
few,
said,
like,
fresh
slippery
competitors
botches.
too, right?
Ricochet also missed his moonsault or whatever he did,
Mm-hmm.
his 360 splash.
Yeah, the 450.
Don't forget, what was the other person that was in the match? The guy from the LWO.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Santos Escobar.
Random
He
dude.
held his own. He held his own as well, so he did a pretty good job. I thought everybody.
He was
did
a lot
pretty good
better
job.
as an LWO insert than Zelina Vega was.
Yes.
But we'll get to that.
We'll get to that when we
there.
get to that. So with that, we'll go into our next match. We have Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler defending the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against random team number 4, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
Please tell me
Well,
this
not
match got
random team
better
number
because
4 anymore.
I passed. I didn't pass out, but like I got bored of this match quickly in my eyes, and I don't know how it turned out. I basically skipped. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't get to judge this one now because
All I
there
know
nothing to it.
was Ronda Rousey came out dressed as Majin Vegeta with the M on her forehead.
Yeah, see, the thing is, I saw that and I was like, that looked familiar. I couldn't think of what it was, but it didn't appeal to me. Like, I don't know why. It wasn't like Jade's costume when she did the whole Mortal Kombat thing. It just didn't have the same feel.
See,
You
but
know what I
Putty,
mean?
you've been missing out because for the last couple of events, they've all been dressing like video game characters and stuff for some reason. The women.
Yeah.
Oh, really? See, I had no
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
Like Zelina Vega at the Puerto Rico show, she was dressed up as what, the girl from Street Fighter, I think it was, or something.
No, that was at the
I
time
remember that.
before
Yeah.
That was
Mm.
I remember that.
at WrestleMania.
Well,
or
I wonder
Yeah.
where they're getting that from.
Well, she is in Street Fighter 6.
Well, no, I mean, I'm saying, I'm just referring
Oh,
to
that's
like
what she came out
AWO
as, dressed as the Street Fighter girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the one. I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah. She dressed as Katana for the WrestleMania show, I
Yes.
think.
Yeah.
Yes. Caps, you were going to say something.
Yeah, no, I was just agreeing with Putty. I mean, the fact of the matter is, I lost kind of interest in this match, and I kind of fast forward, and lo and behold, I fast forward in the spot where Shayna Baszler just turned
Randomly turns on
what the hell was that?
Ronda.
Well, you know what? It's actually telling that both of you didn't watch this for the fact that now I get to talk about it. So this match was actually a decent match. It was
There was a bit of back and forth.
It was a boring match though. Like in-ring work was fine, but it was very slow paced and they weren't really telling us any story. It was like they were stalling for the end, which is once again, I'll die on that theory of that I was told multiple times by someone at work that WWE does not care about the match quality. They only care about the outcome of the match.
Yeah, which is true.
And they happened here. They were like, just go out there for 10 minutes. We don't give a shit what you do and make sure that Shayna turns on Ronda.
Yeah.
That being said, though, that this only makes the story stranger that they're still pushing Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez because they win, by the way.
Yes.
But it also it's the stupidest thing you've ever done to probably what could have been your best women's tag team of all
But
time.
that's the thing. They don't have a tag team division.
But what did you do now? You made it worse because you took a really good tag team and turned it into a singles feud.
So that's the other thing too, and that's the reason why that took me out of this match. When you could put like, again, I know that we're all playing a game here of like, you know, pretend, I guess you can say, but honestly, when you look at Ronda Rousey and what's her name compared to like you're looking at Liv Morgan, like I mean, you're beating up a baby. So the baby winning kind of just doesn't, again, love
Raquel
Morgan,
Rodriguez literally like slammed her through the floor.
Well, no, but
she's a bit of a
saying,
beast.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in general, it just there's some things that are not believable. Like Rey Mysterio is one of those people that can actually pull off making it look like believable. Liv Morgan's just not good at it. Nothing against her, but she just doesn't have that, and it's hard to really like imagine her kicking someone that sizes. But when you don't have any muscle behind you,
well, this also comes on the 1 year anniversary of Liv Morgan beating Ronda Rousey for the championship when she cashed in her Money in the Bank last year.
But that was a different situation. That kind of worked in a different way. That
because Ronda was already injured and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah. No,
it made
that
more
worked
sense
because it's what people wanted
at the time.
What they didn't want was a bunch of lousy following up matches for that.
Yeah.
Which is what you turned the people on your champion. Okay.
So now we're gonna do it again.
Yeah, you're gonna do it again because this is stupid. Everybody was waiting years for Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey to be a tag team and dominate, and they
lasted 3 months.
Not only that, you literally dethroned an amazing women's tag team in Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Yep.
And made them look like ridiculous losers. And now what did you do? You immediately went and made these girls lose. So now those two look like idiots too, because they lost to a team that just got demolished.
Yeah.
So weird.
So it just destroyed their women's, like there is no women's tag team division. You're going to see matches like now you're going to see Liv Morgan and Raquel against like Shotzi and like, I don't know, random girl
anyone, because that's what Shotzi's job is. Literally go stand with this person and do some botches.
Yeah. But I don't know. This wasn't not my favorite of the show. With that, we'll go into a much better match of Gunther versus Matt Riddle for the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
Matt Riddle sucks.
This was the best. Yeah, but this is the best I've seen Matt Riddle in a while.
This was just Gunther.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah,
Gunther, I put it down. Gunther is in a class all by himself.
Like
he's on a different level.
I know it's like it sounds silly. I can't wrestle. It sounds silly for me to judge this, but like the amount of wrestling I watch, it's mind-boggling why Matt Riddle is in the position he's in. Like I might look down a little bit on the skills of LA Knight or whatever, but like I still know he belongs in
there.
that area of where he belongs. Matt Riddle is like, why are you here?
He can't talk.
I agree.
He can't
I get-
talk. He literally only has ground maneuvers that, and they're
He's
not
there.
He's
He's
not like
there
on a
to
level.
appeal to the stoner crowd. That's all he's there
But
for.
it's
Is to
not
appeal.
funny.
Where's the stoner crowd? It looks like a pool
Put shoes
boy.
on,
Like, with,
you stupid
like
hippie.
he looks like a pool boy that wanted to go into wrestling. Like it's just,
But you know, he's got the bro character, like the
no,
SoCal bro.
no. I feel like they so much were trying to do the Jungle Boy thing when it came to Riddle, fucking whatever his name is, when it came
Riddler.
to him. Yeah, because that's what he makes me think of. And I mean, I just heard about the stuff that's going over there with that, which, you know, I was like, wow, I didn't know that he was going that way. But
Mhm.
that's my whole point. He needs to up his image and change to something else or do something
Put
different.
some shoes on, as Campo said.
Yeah, he has there's no charisma, there's no character I like. His wrestling ability just looks boring. And then I feel like I'm
That's
watching.
what I mean, right? It's like when you have nothing behind you and you also have a really boring wrestling style. Like, what are you doing to help?
Yep.
Like he's over. The reason he's so over is because RK Bro.
Yeah.
Before that, he wasn't that popular.
No.
Like he had a little bit of like clout, I guess. But like since Orton's left, he's been getting these crazy pushes where he's constantly in a title picture, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
And then he got a high profile feud with Seth Rollins. Like, what was that about? Where he won.
I never enjoyed his work anyway. Even when he was with Randy Orton.
No, I mean, it's Gunther that made him look better, basically. And it just goes to show you that you need to wear shoes, because it was the fact that he didn't have shoes and that Achilles hook that he made Riddle tap out. So you made a so-called submission expert in Matt Riddle tap out to a guy who's known for heavy strikes and power moves.
It wasn't a terrible match. When you put me in these situations, I don't care. And Gunther squashed him.
Yeah.
And like I said, was it just a bandage on his ankle? Like what the hell are you covering up?
He had it
here?
taped up. Yeah, he was injured. That was the excuse.
Well, no, I get it, but I'm saying when I saw that was a situation, it's like, oh my God, start freaking out, tapping out. I'm like, dude, you barely have anything on there. Like, what the hell? Why? It looks like you have a Band-Aid.
Listen, when you're in those situations, it's funny enough. This means that the company really has your back, because they're like, we got to protect you by making it look like you only lost to this absolute beast of a man who's been the champion forever because your ankle hurts.
He is now the second longest running champion of all time.
While someone else decides to rip off a cast and do something epic with that part, which we'll get to later. So
we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that. But I mean, Gunther, he's definitely going to beat the 484 days of Honky Tonk Man, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then what? Mania, Brock versus Gunther.
I hope it's not Brock at all. I hope it's never Brock.
Well, that's the direction they're talking about. Well, so who's next then?
Anyone not named Brock Lesnar. Ricochet. Bring Ricochet back.
Okay. Yeah, Ricochet could take a few losses against Gunther.
Let Shinsuke do it.
No, I don't want Shinsuke to lose to...
Shinsuke doesn't win anything anyways.
Rick Boogs. How about him?
Yeah, that's fine.
Dexter Loomis, Johnny Gargano, anybody. Where are all these guys?
Well, now Tommaso Ciampa's back, so...
Yeah. But with that, Gunther retains, completely squashes Matt Riddle. We'll go into Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio with Rhea Ripley. This is where the show started to improve after the good opening match.
Well, as stated, we started off with a little bit of a nice little a sign that, hey, you're not gonna fucking mess with me or anything like that, and just ripping off that thing. Like, I'll admit that was an epic moment where he was like playing with him, and then all of a sudden he just yanks that sucker off. I'm like, oh, that's sick. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
Dom's really got some nuclear heat too.
Yeah. Like, let me ask you
but is it the good kind of heat, or is it the go away heat? That's my question.
Go away heat.
Well, here's my thing. Okay, I've never seen people boo so much, but the thing is, I will admit it was very smart. If he really wanted to go heel, he's done a great job of it. Because the thing is I'll admit that whole thing with the induction, the Hall of Fame and everything. I think that's what set it off. I think everyone was like, dude, that's the rudest thing you could do. That's never happened in WWE history. And I think people are like, dude, do you not realize it's fake? They did that to make you mad at them, and now they've literally fallen for the trap, and he's become like the most hated person in the world.
See, but this is why I appreciate the British crowd, because they are
smarter than that.
They are like the smart marks, where people are booing Dominic in the US because they're like, oh, he's a heel, boo you. They were supposed to boo you. In England,
They're
They're
booing
like
him because they don't like
they're
him.
booing him like how they're booing CM Punk. Like, we fucking hate you. Go away forever. Like,
I
if
did
you
wear
heard
that
the
on
boos for
purpose.
CM Punk,
Yeah,
I've never
it was-
heard anything like that in my life. The building was about to fall down.
It was
Oh,
pretty
that's
funny.
right. Yeah, that was exactly the point why they didn't come back, which we'll come back to later. You know what I
But
mean?
that's
Because
like
they're very
here when
honest.
they were booing Roman Reigns, they made songs about Roman Reigns,
Yeah.
and it's not because
That was
we
so
don't like
great.
you, you're a heel. It's because
No,
we
it's like
fucking hate you.
There's this,
Stop
I don't know
wrestling.
if
can't
you've
wait to
seen
get
it.
to that
There's
part.
this
That was
clip
great.
that's going around TikTok and Instagram where everybody in the crowd has their shoes off, and it's like, shoes off if you hate Roman, shoes off if you
Yeah,
hate.
they did stand up, sit down, they did a bunch of things, and there was like 4 people in the crowd
Which
with
we'll
their
get
hands
to,
up.
we'll definitely get to that later because that was one of the things I thought was great. That actually helped the event too. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get
we'll
to
get to that. I mean, this was a decent match. It was
Yep.
it was for what it was. Like, I mean, this was, I wouldn't call
So-
it a nothing. Go ahead.
So what does this do for Cody?
Nothing.
It's nothing,
yeah.
absolutely nothing. This is telling the Cody redemption.
This
Yeah,
is
and see, here's
filling
what-
in gaps until he can get back to where they need to get him to.
I
Yeah.
want to give credit where it's due. When it comes to non-wrestling, Dominic Mysterio does suck, but I will give it to him. He does take some bumps and everything. And I mean, you know,
Well, you've been there long enough. You better be able to do something.
At least take a few
Yeah.
bumps. Yeah.
Well, that's my whole point. At least he's playing that off and playing that. I mean, everything that he's playing off, he's doing a good job of it. So I really don't. I mean, again, if you're hating him, he's doing exactly what you want him
He's
to do.
trying. I honestly believe he's trying to be Eddie Guerrero.
But here's the thing. Even if he is, which of course you know his father would be okay with that. And
Yeah.
everyone would agree with that.
Well,
to
his
do
father's
that
dead.
is
His father's Eddie Guerrero.
Not well. Okay, that's a good one actually. That's a good one. Anyway, I forgot that storyline existed. But I mean, we're just gonna pull him out of the audience and beat him up.
Yeah.
Is Brock Lesnar gonna do that anyway? The thing is yes. I just feel like the problem is he's good as a ragdoll situation. I can't take him seriously as a winning wrestler, and I don't think that's
No,
ever gonna be.
But I
pushed.
don't think that's what
it's
they
a-
want to do right now with him.
Yeah.
No,
I
like I
agree.
said, if he wants to be the next Guerrero, he's got a lot of work to do, man. Like, especially in ring, charisma wise, like
Yeah,
you
you're right.
watch his mannerisms in the ring. He's very Eddie Guerrero, the frog splash, the little shuffle, right? The whole chicken shit heel thing. He's trying to be the Three Amigos.
Oh yeah.
He's-
Well, remember she calls him his little her little what was
Little
it
Poppy.
yeah, well, not little Poppy, but the other one too. She was like my little heat or
But
something.
she looked kind of hot tonight, right?
Okay, yeah, I kind of
yeah. Cass is the only one that does agree.
It was
Yeah,
the
I
hair.
like
I like the hair. She had good
Yeah,
hair
I did
tonight.
too.
I'm sorry, I'm just not into Marilyn Manson.
That's not Marilyn Manson. That's like emo steampunk.
Mostly.
Uh,
But yeah,
Right.
obviously Cody Rhodes goes over. What's next for Cody? Another SummerSlam match with Brock
See-
Lesnar again?
Here's my thing with Cody. I don't know. I know they're trying to because he's got very high profile, but like there's no storyline for him. Like they're trying to do this with Dominique, and it's like over now. And if they're going to continue it, it's not really that good of a
No.
storyline, to be honest with you. So
You know what this is
Cody-
going to lead to? I can tell you right now, it's going to be Dominic and Rhea Ripley against Cody and Brandy Rhodes.
okay,
please
that's
not
fine.
Brandy Rhodes.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean, here's
bringing
my
Brandy
thing,
in. No, I
But-
don't want Brandy Rhodes there either. She can't wrestle.
I don't know. Well, my point to the whole thing is Cody's actually a good wrestler. He's enjoyable to watch, but it feels like there's no piece of the puzzle to put him right in this story. I mean, I hate to say it, but Brock Lesnar
want
literally probably the only thing.
They want to keep him relevant, so they're keeping on television, but there's no storyline, so it's not going anywhere.
Exactly. Like, I mean, we already know what storyline is doing well right now, and it has a trickle effect with, Sami Zayn and all that. So
Yeah,
he needs something like that. He needs something where it has a connective.
that's why he
tissue
should have
that you go back
beaten
to.
Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
I agree, 100%. I agree.
Sometimes, not all the time.
Once in a while.
Sometimes you need to just have matches.
Yeah,
Like, trot out Cody Rhodes every Monday night, Orange Cassidy style, and just let him fight somebody good and let people enjoy the match. And if a
I
storyline
see.
builds out of something, then it does.
have him go against
agree.
Ricochet one night. Have him go against Shinsuke another night. Have him go against
Yeah, it's like you're not hurting anybody by having him just put on high profile matches. Like, I don't understand why there's such a need for a heel face storyline always in WWE. Like, just wrestle.
True. Yep.
But with that,
Bring
we're
back
going
Gilbert.
Gilbert. We're going. What's his name? The guy with no chin there, James Ellsworth.
James Helmsworth.
He's going to be the guy who's going to join BCC to round out that team.
I hope
James-
so.
But next we get John Cena coming out for some random reason. Talks about.
okay.
Who
What?
fucking cares?
I'm
It was
done.
kind of cute. It was kind of cute.
Well, I'm
until
happy that
until
you're
they
fine.
squash a guy you're trying to push.
Yeah, but I don't think that hurts him. I think, to me, the issue with this was that it was so freaking long.
Yes.
It
I
went for
agree.
like 30 minutes.
Look, I like this. I like seeing it coming out. It was exciting. I liked the crowd's energy for him. They're cheering him on. I feel like he deserves that. He's always getting the "you suck," which is a cool thing. But it was nice that he even mentioned that. Like, my thing is first off, when the other guy came out, I didn't give a shit. And at that
Grayson
point, like,
Waller?
you just ruined it. Yeah, you just ruined it. I don't care about this Waller project, bitch ass show, whatever you call it thing.
I
Waller
didn't even know
connection.
who he
Grayson Waller
was.
effect.
I didn't either. That's why I heard of this show was like there's a series. Anyway, my point is I want to know, are they really trying to hint that we are going to get a WrestleMania in London? Like,
I
that
think
was
so.
the big thing.
Oh
And
yeah,
so
this is my favorite part. We can't wait to get WrestleMania in London. Yeah, too bad Philadelphia is next year. So is you're announcing something that might happen in 2 years from now? Like,
Well,
that's
you
what
know
I'm
they
thinking.
announced the next WrestleMania like a
Philadelphia.
month. No, a month or right at the month
yeah.
before or right at. So I think in the Philadelphia one they're going to announce the London. They just kind of teased this one. But
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
see it.
mind a WrestleMania in London. That means we'll be done early.
You know what that means, though, right?
Mm.
They're just seeing how good AEW is doing with their ticket sales, and they're like, well, now we're gonna just bring WrestleMania here.
We'll just bring yeah. You think you're going to do good with All In? Let's bring in WrestleMania. So after that segment, we get in our women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Bailey, Io Sky, Zelina Vega, Zoe Stark, Trish Stratus, and Becky Lynch.
This was a fun match.
This was a great match.
I really enjoyed
this match too. Other than
Was
the
it
fact
just
that
me?
they said Bailey is judgment.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Was
Bailey's
it just
Judgment
me,
Day
or
now.
Were they trying to protect Trish Stratus a bit? Like, or
They were
Trish
trying to
Stratus
protect.
Of
sucks.
course.
No, but
She
it
does.
didn't. I mean, it looked like she couldn't take a lot of those bumps, or maybe I don't know.
Trish was in the match because she's a Hall of Famer and she's never been in the match and she wanted to be in it. That's why she was in it.
And
This was more.
people want to see her.
And this was more for Zoe Stark with Trish Stratus, because if you notice, Zoe was always protecting her. Zoe was always with her.
Yeah, Zoe should have won, but I'm not upset who did win because
I'm not either.
It's just as good.
if you're gonna do things to tell a storyline, I'm okay with it.
Yes, but now you just broke up another tag team.
Yep. Yeah, Damage Control is now going to be severed, and I think that's going to be a storyline they're going to definitely peek
Well,
into.
yeah.
Well,
for
we're
sure.
gonna lead up to a match that is gonna be probably the best women's singles match ever in a WWE.
Charlotte versus Io.
Yeah, I like it.
Because Charlotte's winning it back.
No, come on, Asuka versus Io. It's gonna happen.
Well, I want to see it, but every time Charlotte comes back, she wins.
I think we talked about this. I think we have a changed person.
You think so, eh?
I think she has made her money. She's made her mark, and now it's all about the legacy she's going to leave. She just wants to be Undertaker. She wants to be Shawn Michaels. She wants to be like all the guys you're seeing now, Suzuki and stuff. They just want to be part of high-profile events and matches where they put on the best match of the night, and then they leave, and that's it. It's like Tanahashi. Tanahashi's not winning any more titles, but he knows that he's going to be like main carding everything he's doing.
High profile. Like he had the match against MJF there that night.
I thought it was a creative ending.
Yeah.
With the handcuffs.
I thought that was I thought there was a lot of out of the box stuff in this match as well.
So it keeps the Zoe Stark feud going with Becky Lynch because she's the one who handcuffed her, kind of thing. And now
you need that because Zoe needs elevation.
Yeah.
In WWE. So you put her with Trish, that's number one. Now you're having her fight Becky, that's number two. Becky's at that point too. Becky doesn't need any more championships.
And if she beats Becky, that's great for Zoe Stark. It actually puts some clout behind her name.
Yeah.
It's funny how little things like the whole handcuff situation between the ladders could be something so different that it's like for people that are watching this now that are younger, you don't realize how many times they've rotated storylines over and over and over again in wrestling. So to see something even as minute as like two arms being connected inside just to stop it and then someone crawling over them, that is unique because it's something that's never been done. You know what I mean?
And the fact that Io Sky climbed over Bailey instead of Becky Lynch to grab this briefcase, right?
Well, it's her way of saying
screw
you for trying to screw me over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause again, she knew that. She knew she screwed her over when she went through it. And it's like, now I'm going to screw you over. And it was a nice little payback. And now, of course, there's a rivalry. There's definitely going to be a rivalry. One of them is going to leave. And I feel like it's going to be, what's her name? That's going to leave the one that won. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Io is going to.
Io's going face for sure.
100%.
What's the girl's name that's with Trish again?
Zoe Stark.
She took one hell of a bump, man.
Yeah,
God damn. Her
from
and
the top.
Which
Yeah,
one? You talking about when she dropped her down on the
from
the
on
ladder?
top of the ladder. Yeah,
because you actually
Yeah.
see her head go into the ladder
between the rungs. Yeah,
Oh, it was bad.
she put
By the way,
her hands in the back
but
of her head.
she's
I guess,
tough,
like,
though.
I
That
was
girl is
watching. I was watching the Edge 25 years whatever
Mhm.
special on the network, and there's a bump where Christian, which by the way, for the first half of the match, JR calls Christian Edge. It's so funny. He's like, Edge is falling out of the ring, and it's like Christian the whole time. But Christian, they do a bump where they climb up the ladder to the top, and the ladder falls over to the ring post.
Mhm.
And he looks like he's trying to jump down and stop himself with the ropes, and then he misses the ropes and goes all the way to the outside on his back. Like, I was like, what a fall. Like, that's a bump. Logan Paul took a couple pretty big bumps.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing too. Again, Logan Paul, and I know this going back, but I'm just saying that's another reason why I just commend him for what he does. But
Logan
but
Paul was added as a 7th man, which is usually a 6-man thing.
Yeah.
Because of it's Logan Paul.
It's Logan Paul. He didn't even have to qualify to get in.
And he's
They
not
were
bad.
mad about
He
that,
did a
too.
fine
No,
job in the
he
ring.
was serviceable. It was good.
And he got booed out of the arena.
But that's the same situation. I feel like a majority of these wrestlers outside of even I agree, Trish Stratus didn't really do as well, but I mean, the majority of them did really well, and it was a very entertaining match. So
Yeah, it was like I said, it was better than last year's with Shotzi and the botch fest that she had and Raquel and
Yeah, last year's match was really awkward. They picked 6 much better wrestlers here. Like most of these are high profile people except Zoe Stark.
But even Zoe Stark is probably one, like we always said too, that she was one of the best women in NXT.
She was probably the best.
Right. So I mean last year
did pretty good too.
Yeah, because last year, who'd you have last year? You had Morgan, Bliss, Asuka, Becky Lynch, Lacey Evans, Raquel Rodriguez, and Shotzi in the women's match.
Oh, I remember that now. Yeah, that was not fun. That was boring. That was a boring match.
Zelina Vega is very not good.
No,
for
someone who has like a great, like amazing wrestler husband in Aleister Black or whatever his name is, Malachi Black, like he hasn't taught her anything.
She's living the Matt Riddle life where it's like she just has always someone has her back and she's always getting some kind of TV time.
I agree, but at least her character isn't as boring as Riddle. That's fucking whatever. Anyway, I mean, the thing is it doesn't have a lot to it, but comparatively, it's much better. I mean, I like her look and everything, but her storyline doesn't have anything. It's just basically the look. She looks okay. So there you go. That's pretty much all of that I feel like she has going forward.
And like we said, it should have been either Zoe Stark or Io Sky, but I'm happy with Io Sky winning. It's going to tell a good story now.
Yeah,
I agree.
And we're probably going to get one hell of a match between Sky and Asuka.
Yeah.
And then there's another built-in feud with Bayley right after that.
Yep. Now, but see, that's also creating great storylines that can progress with other characters.
Long-term booking. Wow, what a concept, eh?
Right.
Something WWE knows nothing about.
I think you might get the match with Bayley before she goes ahead and goes for the championship.
You think?
Just to tell the story.
You know what? Yeah, I wouldn't mind that though. We get a match Bayley versus Sky for the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Oh no, I know exactly would be great if Bayley actually for somehow got a belt opportunity, and then she came in at the end of the match and then cashed it in and took the prize, whether she wins it or not. Like letting her win on the belt and then taking it from her. Like it would be a good storyline. You know what I mean? I think it would.
Yeah, that could work too.
Yeah.
So. Other than that, let's move on to our next match. Okay, before we go on to the next match, which ladder match was better, the men's or the women's?
The men's.
Women's. Really?
By a long shot.
I actually thought the women's were more fun. I mean, outside of a few girls that weren't that good at it,
the women's was more fun, but the men's told a better story and had better in-ring
I agree with that.
and innovative spots for me.
I feel like the ladder fights were better with the girls. I feel like they did put a lot more work into them, honestly. That's how I feel. So
okay. Well, with that, we are going to go into the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth freaking Rollins, he's still using that name against Finn Balor.
I'll say this.
Every Seth Rollins match starts off so slow. I'm starting to notice that. It's
And
like
they're doing the Moxley booking with Rollins too, where Balor dominated for the beginning of the match.
It's a
classic
weird thing. Like
Moxley
I
booking.
enjoyed the match, but at the same time, it just felt like a very regular match. I didn't have anything that gave it a spark, but it still wasn't like the worst thing ever.
Well,
Does that make sense?
that's why SummerSlam they're going to do a rematch, Balor versus Rollins, but Demon Balor again.
That makes
think
sense.
so.
I think so, and Demon Balor is going to win.
They mentioned like multiple times that he has a demon locked inside of him.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, you're right though. This wasn't like usually the Seth Rollins matches steal the show. This didn't steal the show this time.
It was still
Mhm.
good. It was a good
Yeah.
match. It started off really slow, and then it ended with I'm gonna kick your ass the whole time, and
Mhm.
somehow you're gonna magically win in the last 2 seconds of the match.
Oh, that's my whole point. It just felt like one of those matches where it's like, I liked it, but it's like I liked it because it just felt normal. I guess. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It's like I'm content with it. People they put in the work and everything, but there was nothing exciting. Much like when the girl dropped what's her name on the ladder. You know what I mean?
Ladder,
So yeah, or even other moments in other matches. There's just a lot of other matches.
It was just
it
was a good wrestling match was what it was. It had the story. That's why I think Balor is going to beat him at SummerSlam, because it'll be 7 years since Balor won the Universal Championship, beating Rollins at SummerSlam, and I think it's going to happen again. That's my theory. So they're saving it for the next match, I guess, because like
which
Campo
then
and I
at the
always
same
say,
time, if he wins it, Damien could also take it too, which
Right.
gives another
Campo
storyline.
always there's always a trilogy of matches. It's never one match, right? It's always WWE booking. After that, I honestly thought Rhea Ripley was facing Natalya in the next match. They talked about it, and it's like tune in on Friday on SmackDown or on Raw, whatever it was, for it.
Yep.
So, which was a little weird. Next, our main event of the night, we have the Usos going up against Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, the Bloodline. My first question is, they gave Asuka a new belt and they took away the old one. They gave Ripley a new belt and took away the old one. Why the hell is Roman Reigns still walking out with 3 belts?
Okay, that was the one thing I was wondering about. He carries that belt, the main one now. And is it basically like the others are retired? So basically he's holding them just to show. Because like I don't.
He was already holding one belt for no reason because they gave a new belt to Raw. So the Raw belt this whole time has meant nothing. Yeah. And now he's holding 2 belts that mean nothing.
It's such a weird thing. But outside of that, I'm gonna be honest.
How come the tag team champions didn't get to walk around with the NXT belts and the regular belts?
Yeah,
I agree. But I actually really enjoyed this match
because they retired
a lot of fun.
The belts.
Yeah,
which they retired the other 2 belts too. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But again, typical Roman Reigns match starts off super slow.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it's a 10-minute buildup before they actually start doing anything in the ring. It's like he feels like he has to put on a 30-minute match, but 10 minutes of it has to be a buildup.
Like him just getting like, I'm not gonna fight this.
Yeah,
and like getting out of the ring and have that
7 minutes of it is just getting in and out of the ring and like looking at people.
Yeah,
but it's funny. In any other situation, it was like, oh, I'm tired of this. For some reason, I was actually happy to see this. I liked that moment, and the reason is because we've had so much build up to this. We wanted this to be destroyed, and well, we'll talk about the ending in a little bit. But my point is once the match actually did get started, it was actually really fun to me. And I think it's because I'm so driven in the story now that I'm just happy to see that it's actually getting to a point of a conclusion. You know what I mean? Like you can tell it's getting a conclusion, and it's been waiting so long. Now, is it the best conclusion? I love the Usos. I still feel the whole Roman Reigns thing is really stupid, but I will admit this has made me like the Usos way better than I ever did before. So props to that. I'll put it that way.
The way that they choose to end these matches, I've noticed for like the last, even with the Usos against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, there's something with the Bloodline all of them as a team.
Yep.
They don't do Okada booking where it's like it's really slow and then it gets finisher, match is over. It's like really slow and then conclusion without a conclusion and then conclusion.
Wait, don't forget to add the ref bump. There always has to be a ref bump.
There's always a ref bump, but there's always like an open spot where the match should have ended now and it doesn't. And it's Lord of the Rings endings. It has like 17 endings where the match you should have just ended it now, but it just keeps going. And it doesn't do anything for the match. For anything for me, it takes away from it.
Yeah, it makes it longer when it shouldn't have been. So when we got the ref bump, I thought, okay, here it goes. Typical Roman Reigns booking. Rikishi's going to come out, help the bloodline or something. And which we didn't get Rikishi. We were expecting Rikishi tonight.
That's good. I don't need Rikishi.
I don't need Rikishi, but so I saw the ref bump and then the crowd is counting 10, 11, 12. I'm like, okay, this, something's going to happen and Roman Reigns is going to end up winning. He didn't. Roman Reigns gets pinned for the first time since December 2019 by Jey Uso.
But I think
but
that's why. If it was somebody else, I don't think he would have agreed to it.
Yeah.
Well, again, that's the story-driven thing. Like, here's the thing: I don't know what they're going to do with Jimmy and Jay when it comes to their storylines, as far as like if they're going to go separate and become their own characters. Because I get it, Jay has a very, very has a great story or has a great way of emphasizing. Like, I feel like he can be his own character. I don't feel like he needs his brother there. I think that might be where they're going as well. I think they're trying to separate them, let them have their own identities, and then they can always come back together. And that would make me happy. My thing is how much are we going to drag Roman Reigns? Could we just have it to where he's like, everything's gone, I'm done? Because I'm at that point now where I feel like if we're going to do anything, at least by WrestleMania, let him lose his belt at WrestleMania. We need to get that off of him and then be done with this whole storyline. Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind Jay being it, but at the same time, I don't feel Jay's ready. I feel like we need to have something to where everything's fractured, and then maybe give it to Cody Rhodes or something. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Cody Rhodes is more deserving and can have fun with it.
This is WWE. Cody Rhodes is going to beat Finn Balor. Going to take that belt. Then he's going to face Roman Reigns and take that belt. Then he's going to have 2 belts, and then they're going to have to find a new way.
He's going to have 4.
They're going to have to find a new way to separate the belts.
Unless, of course, those 2 belts are now grandfathered, and they basically only go with Roman.
And then he's going to get the original big gold belt and the original gold winged eagle. He's going to have 6 belts, and every match will only be for all 6 belts. You can't win just one or half. You have to take all 6 belts.
It's become such a joke. It's so funny. That's the reason
they keep doing that. This is not the first time that they've done this. They keep doing that.
So you think we're going to get the Roman Reigns Jey Uso match at SummerSlam?
No. That's going to
I don't think it's crazy.
Okay,
Roman Reigns is not even going to be at SummerSlam.
No, he will be at SummerSlam.
You think so?
That's one of his obligated shows.
It's in Detroit. Nobody likes Detroit.
Eminem likes Detroit.
Nobody likes Eminem.
He doesn't even live there.
Oh, there you go.
Doesn't he live in like Palm Springs or something?
Probably.
But I mean, other than that, I like the way it ended. Jey Uso. Trivia fact: anybody know who was the last person to pin Roman Reigns?
Jey Uso.
No. Before Jey Uso.
John Cena.
Brock Lesnar?
Nope.
Baron
Corbin.
What?
Was it King Corbin?
He was King Corbin. He was in the dog food match in a feud with and Baron Corbin was the last guy to pin Roman Reigns at TLC 2019.
That's what if they're gonna build the story, that should have been the story they built off of him. I was the last one to beat Roman
I'm the only one who's beaten Roman Reigns in the last 4 years.
That could have been such a great storyline for him. Like, literally, he's such a cocky character that would have been great. Like, again, missed opportunities.
But then again, he just has to get like completely squashed by Roman.
Yeah. But you get what I'm saying. There's so many times they could open up a nice little storyline that's never happened before, and that would have been there right there. Like, imagine when he got to 1,000, Corbin goes, "Oh, I came out. I'm the first. I beat you the last.
I was the last guy to beat you."
Kermit the Frog voice.
Hey, old Kermit the Frog here. I was the last guy to beat Roman Reigns. So with that, go ahead, Cass.
I just want to, I want to say a few things about this match. I thought this match was friggin' fantastic. I thought the crowd elevated it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. The crowd is as hot as it is, and if you don't have to do anything for the first little bit, then you ride it out until the crowd starts tapering off a bit. I thought everyone played their part very, very well. You didn't see a lot of finishing moves and false finishes.
A lot of super kicks.
A lot of super kicks, but only one person uses it as a finish move. So, but I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. I thought the chants were very creative. I I think that was the first time. I didn't know what they were chanting when the Usos were coming out. Like, what the hell did they? Oh, they're singing their song. Okay, that's new. But I thought the match was very, very good. I thought the double kick out got one hell of a pop.
Yeah, that double kick out definitely did.
Because I think
see-
at that point,
I mean, it was no
thought
one-winged
that-
angel kick out.
Yeah,
Well, whatever. Yeah, I mean, you know what the funny thing is? As a side note, if Cody Rhodes would have been Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, he still could have had this match.
oh yeah, this match would have still
He
happened.
still could have had it. Like the Civil War is.
They could have
complete
still done
separate from-
everything they've done so far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Had
So-
nothing to do. Well, the
so
only
I
thing,
kind of-
well, the only thing that severed this was when they lost the tag team belts. So they could have had Cody win it afterwards and then be like, "You lost your belt too," and made a whole storyline with
Yeah,
all of them.
I
losing
think
belts.
that would have told a better
Yeah.
story.
But I
It's
will
a
say
Civil
this though.
War. You can still have
Yeah.
the Civil War.
Yep. And see,
No.
I want to piggyback off of what Caps said too, because we talked about it earlier and I didn't get to bring it up. The whole audience thing, I really, really want, I want this to be an audience regular, and I don't feel like they're going to allow it. Like the whole London thing where they just basically say what they want to say. Bravo to that, because that made that
Yeah.
that felt like old WCW where people would chant what they want. It wasn't like, it didn't feel like it was something they plugged in.
Yeah,
And it brought that vibe back to it. So like when you saw Roman look around when they were like talking crap about him and everything, that made my day because they were being honest. It wasn't
But
like,
that's
you
how
something-
wrestling is in the regular wrestling universe.
yes.
I agree.
In
yes.
WWE, where it's like 80% children in the crowd, that's the difference. That
And
you
on
get.
TV, all you hear is usually you just hear the pumped in sound.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because there was a plenty of F words that got dropped in there when the audience and last
Oh,
night. And
yeah.
I was like, oh sweet.
That's the British audience.
Yeah, but
though,
on,
right?
on PLEs, they do that a lot. You hear swearing.
Yeah.
But match of the night. What would you guys say was match of the night?
Main event.
I don't know. It's kind of hard because they're all pretty good, but I actually did have more fun in the main event as well.
Campo?
I don't have one.
You know,
Wow.
The
Well, I'm
men's
gonna-
ladder match.
I was gonna pick the men's ladders match as well. So
Okay, the last match was good. I'm not gonna
yeah,
pretend
I'm
it
not gonna
wasn't,
take
but
away from it, but I preferred the ladder
didn't
match. more.
have raw entertainment value to me. It had really good storytelling, but like it was the fact that it just never ended and it was just constant, like open-ended, like should have ended moments. Like I said, it took
Yeah.
me out of it. Like it's my personal feelings towards it. I didn't enjoy it, but I think it was a good match.
Okay, what would you guys rate it? Let's go Caps first. What would you rate it?
Oh, man, maybe a 6.57.
Putty?
7.
Let's go 7 then.
7.5. Maybe no 7.2. I don't know. I'm gonna bring the number down a little bit. It wasn't the greatest, but it's still,
Yeah.
you know,
It was serviceable. Campo.
yeah.
7.5.
And I'm kind of in between all of yous. I gave it a 7.4.
We're just making some. Yeah.
No, it wasn't like I said, it
There
wasn't
was
a
zero
bad,
bad matches on this card.
it was
Yeah.
a good card. And
There
all
was like, yeah, opinionated wise, there's a lot I didn't like about it, but you can't pretend like it wasn't entertaining. There was a lot of great
Yeah.
storytelling.
Yeah, well said.
So with that out of the way, folks, thanks again for joining us. If you need any of their information, they'll be in the description box below. So make sure you go check all of them out. Tune in next week. Next week, Campo and I will have our New Japan Independence Day Night 1 and Night 2 reviews. So if you guys end up watching that, feel free to join us on those reviews as well. We're getting Julia versus Willow Nightingale. That's what I'm excited for. So
And
So with
not
that-
anything to do with fucking Eddie Kingston versus Kenta twice.
let's go. Anyway, with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. Tune in next week. We'll see you all next time. And in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.